All right, welcome to this brand new challenge, and this one will be challenging. It's going to be the most challenging up to this point in the course naturally, and here's just a quick design here in Figma, but it doesn't show any animation. For the actual animation, I'm going to show you what I came up with, and I would really like to see what you can come up with to see if you can get as close as possible to this experience right here. So I'm going to scroll down. There it is, except that's not all. Let's hover over them. Ooh, okay. So there's something interesting happening here. We have what's called a clip path property that's being animated. I'll talk about that in a second. But if you look over here, oopsie, let me real quickly get up my recording, and then I have my zoom it. There we go. Okay, let's try that again. Let me zoom up right here. There we go. You'll notice if I hover over the image, you'll see that the title right here is actually changing from a bunch of zeros and ones, and it animates in. So I'm not going to force you to come up with that. I actually have the function all ready for you. It's on this challenge page here on designcourse.com. The page that you're viewing this video right now, there's a download link where you can actually just download the function, and it describes how to use it as well. It's just a JavaScript file. You just copy and paste that function in, and you'll be able to use that function. Now, if you can't figure out how to use the function correctly, then don't worry about that part. Try to get everything else where we have this hover effect. This hover effect, by the way, can be done solely in CSS, but the fact that we're also changing this down here means that we're going to want to do it the JavaScript way. So you're going to iterate over these images and then do a simple tween, GSAP to or from, to rather, and you'll also want to tie in and use that function that you declare outside. Now, of course, if you're not that great at JavaScript, it's okay, but definitely try to get at least the part where we scroll down and it kind of introduces each of these elements in a staggered way. As you can tell, there was a brief stagger between all four coming in, and you could see how these elements also have that mask situation occurring. It's also staggered down there. That little line grows, that little border. When you refresh. So there's a lot of small different things happening here. It's moving on the y-axis down. So if I refresh this, you'll see how they kind of come down by about 50 pixels real quickly, like right there. And then we have this interesting animation where it's kind of growing like at an angle. Well, that's clip path. And clip path is a CSS property that you can animate in GreenSock Animation Platform. And so the way clip path works, I love using this tool right here. It's called Bennett Feely right here, BENNETTFEELY.com/Clippy. And this tool has been around for a long time. But basically, if you apply this onto an element, it will basically act like a mask. It's a clip path, it's called. And you can see an image here. If you apply this on an image element, and that's what I used for these. These are all the HTML image elements. It's not like a div with a background image in CSS. These are just straight up image tags. But if you apply, right down here, this is the value based on how you move these anchor points around. And you could copy this, and you can also animate these elements within GreenSock Animation Platform. So when you're setting up the timeline and the scroll trigger for when these come in, then you're going to want to animate on that timeline using a tween like to or from. You want to animate it going from like nothing, meaning the initial state will be where you drag these down, and then maybe do two different tweens to animate it. So the first one will come up here, and then the next one will be the full version, and these values change each time you do that. Note, when you paste this in to GreenSock in the JavaScript section, make sure you check these zeros and just put a percentage point or percentage symbol like these ones after it. Otherwise, you might get an instant transition when you don't want that. You want them to grow and you want them to be fluid. exactly how they are here. So this is a two-step sequence. So you have two different methods chained together on the same timeline. So I'm trying to give you as many tips as possible, but again, if you don't figure it out, well, that's why I'm going to do the solution video right after here. So try to get as far as you can, and then we will reconvene.